Hello.
Hi there.
I don't know what you want to look at. I can't look at that one. There's no point.
I know. I tried to look at that one. I was like, nah, I can't look at that one. So
Yeah.
I'm looking at this one, and I guess I'll be bouncing back and forth like a mad rabbit that just can't figure out which hole it wants to, nest in.
That's cute. All right. Hello. Welcome to a new program, the newest of the new, which is, of course, Manga Book Club. This is basically the time where we're going to actually go through a series chapter by goddamn chapter. Now, of course, that being said, we're going to be uploading, of course, the same manga series that we'll be reading through twice a week because there's a lot to go through. And also, some of the stuff we're reading can go up to maybe even 100 chapters, and I don't want to do something like Hajime no Ippo, for example.
What?
Yeah, you really want to do 1,300 plus chapters?
You don't want to read the entire series of Detective Conan?
Thing is, I haven't done that one.
The light novel?
Get the fuck out of here. Not at all. No. Hush your dirty horn mouth. But yes, instead we will be going through, of course, different series as time goes on. But for the very first series, we decided to do something of a manga we've talked about a lot for in most of our podcasts, of course, Nomikai podcast. We usually will bring this up anytime we talk about either manga series, romance, storytelling, and things with thick chapters and pages of those chapters. And that is 29 To JK.
One of the greatest manga series ever to be read and written and created.
This is very true.
It is a really good manga series.
Mm-hmm.
I just got to make one small little point. Trying to one-up me with your mic over here, bro?
I'm not. Our other mic broke, or it didn't break. Let me phrase that. I forgot to replace the batteries, and I had a backup mic just in case if anything went wrong. I'm just prepared for my own failures.
Totally feels like you're one-upping me.
I would never. Anywho, let's just dive right on. Well, before we dive right in, Quincy, may you read the description of 29 To JK for the newcomers of this wonderful book club so they can get a gist of what we're reading and what's going to be most likely talked about.
All right, so 29 To JK. Oh my God,
29
words. JK. Yariba Eiji, 29 years old with intimidating eyes, a corporate slave whose only hobbies are video games and manga, gets through life by spending his time off relaxing at net cafes. One day he happens upon Minamisato Karen, a 15-year-old high school girl, and ends up scolding her. This leads to her warming up to the 29-year-old Eiji. Not only that, Eiji's little sister, a lazy middle schooler, childhood friend, a noisy ex-girlfriend, and his subordinate, a cool and serious girl, are also becoming interested in him. Love is coming at him from every direction, juggling between his work and his newly developed ventures into romance. Will Eiji's peaceful days ever return? From the creators of Oreshura, the Forbidden Age Gap love comedy finally gets a manga adaptation.
That being said, that description is almost just a crock of shit, to put it simply.
In a way, it's
almost okay.
It's like if you were to take this at very face value, then it doesn't really match up to what the actual manga is about. But if you were like to be one of those people who's like very nitpicky about words, sentence structures, and how you break it down, then the description almost does tell you exactly what the story is about. It's just they don't specify what type of love is going around, and
basically it could be really misleading at face value. Like if you read the description
at face value,
it can mislead you into thinking it's going to be really bad or generic even.
Yeah.
To what it's about. We've already read through this. We decided to start with a series that we've actually already read through and actually enjoy, and then as time goes on, we'll actually eventually pick a series that we actually haven't even touched before and go from there, which will be difficult because this guy likes to read just about everything.
Yeah, I just started reading, and I keep
grabbing,
going.
and I keep trying to stop him, but his hands just keep swiping. What are you doing? What are you reading over there? And he's like, oh, nothing. I'm like, liar! I recognize that app.
I'll be reading a lot, so sometimes I'll pick up a new manga that has maybe 45 to 90 chapters, and I'll finish that in a day, and then go on to another one that I'll find that's like, oh, that seems interesting. Maybe I can read this while I wait for this other one to update that I just picked up.
And then, no, it's funny whenever he actually gets backlog. It's always hilarious. Whenever he gets backlog, it's just like nothing's updated, and he's not interested in anything else right now. So he's just like, I need things to upload and update. And then he looks at mine, and he gets really upset because I haven't read it. I have a bunch of things in my favorite that I just haven't read.
He's got a bunch of updates. I'm like, man, the differences are just night and day over here.
Like,
You got all the updates. I got no updates.
and honestly, it's only because like I have a lot that like I started reading, but I haven't caught up to. Because I'm a slow reader, and I get distracted with everything else I do.
I'm a speed reader.
And I just, I'm just accidentally, I'm accidentally ahead of having updates, which is not true. It's just
I go through manga like you go through anime.
Yeah, I watch a lot of anime. That's what I kind of do. I kind of burn through it. Like usually, if I'm like, I consider me watching a show going slowly, is if let's say there's only 12 episodes. If it takes me like 4 days, I think that's slow. All right, but then you, on the other hand, you go through like you think, oh, I just started reading this yesterday. Why am I not done? I'm like, dog, there's 300 chapters.
It's like, yeah, I know, but I mean, I should have been like kind of caught up by now.
Yeah, shut your
It's
whore
like,
mouth,
dude. You're at 189. Like, come on, dude. If you really
You're over halfway there.
can't even give it 24 hours, man.
You just started 5 hours ago.
I don't know, man. It just feels like I should be deeper by now. You know, it's a very compelling story.
Actually, I would say 29 To JK is like the slowest you've read through it because we were reading it together, and we didn't want to cheat on each other and read ahead.
Well, there was that, and the fact that those chapters. The chapters are honestly thick. I don't even want to know what the light novel of this would be like.
FYI, before recording this, we did take the time to read the first chapter again before going through it.
It's 56 pages.
56 pages.
At least like maybe 4 are like just colored in filler pages.
Yeah,
so that
yeah.
means you have 52 solid pages of actual.
Actually, the first page actually starts on 50.
content.
The first page, or like so, the story wise starts on page 5, so 4, and then the last page, which is like just the.
So 51.
Yeah.
Yeah, 51 total pages of content.
Yeah.
Inside of the very first chapter of 29 To JK.
Which is actually fairly normal in some manga. Usually, like the first chapter is usually big, and then after that it drops. Spoiler: it doesn't.
Yeah, no, it doesn't.
All right. So that being said, let's hurry up and start jibber jabbering about the first chapter.
So of course, first chapter is going to be mostly just introduction of your characters, setting up the overall start of the story.
Exactly.
And so it's of course going to be following a lot of what the description is at first, not giving a lot of specifics on anybody, just more of the main character, a little bit of his back life, and the situation that he now gets wrapped up in that will carry on through the rest of the story.
Yep, you're going to basically see, of course, the main pieces of this series. As you know, since it is under the genre of romance, that being said, you're going to be introduced to the main protagonist and the main love interest of the story. Yes, there are other love interests as well, because it is also a harem. You're getting pretty much the girl that we expect the character to either end up with, or at least wants to end up with him.
Yeah,
basically that's usually how harems work in general. Like, yeah, there's other girls, but do we really care about the other girls?
That's the main question.
Yeah.
Now, of course, in the first chapter, you meet 3 particular main characters. You also do meet another one. She doesn't really have too much screen time, but she will become relevant later on.
Very.
So you have Eiji Yariba, who is our main protagonist. He's the 29-year-old corporate slave with the mean-looking eyes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude looks
who is
mean.
very, very diligent at his job.
Even
in the very first chapter, you see his work ethic at work is to the point where his subordinates heavily rely on him. Like, they see, like, nah, he's a reliable
Oh yeah, dude. I know.
Some call him
sure.
sensei, but you know.
Yeah, sensei, coach,
Coach.
stuff like that. You basically get a feel of what the character is like, the main character.
The main character,
And
then
you'll learn that he's a solid dude. He's really he's efficient at what he does, and he actually has priorities set in the right way. He actually will act like a proper adult currently and actually later on, which is what I do like about him, as we will find out more of.
Yes.
And another one of the characters we will meet after a little bit later is, of course, the main chick, main heroine, which is Karen. How do we say her? Minamisato?
Yeah, Minamisato.
Yeah, Minamisato.
Minamisato
Yep.
Karen.
Yep. She is a JK, which is basically a high schooler in
Yep.
Japan.
In Japan.
And she
is 15 years old.
Yep. She has big breasts. They really want me to point that out.
They and not really just they, but like it's not hidden knowledge inside the manga.
Oh yeah,
basically.
yes, that's how it is. High school girls are well endowed, don't you know? All of them,
Apparently,
except one, and that one's usually salty.
Except one, and that one's usually salty. True, that is true. It's usually the saltiest of the bunch.
It's Hanamu, am
So-
I right? Of course, she's a sweet girl, as far as we know, at this time.
In the time of the chapter 1, she's a
Yep.
very sweet, kind of naive-ish girl that you learn.
Yeah,
you kind
really,
of pick up
yeah,
on her.
she's really brash, really upfront.
Really upfront,
with,
very honest,
Yeah,
and she works fast.
we will get to that a little bit later, for sure. And honestly, the first meeting we have with her, she's at the
Net Cafe.
Net Cafe. Yeah, I was gonna say, what cafe was it? It was a Net Cafe.
Where our boy was trying to pick up his the latest light novel for Overlord.
Yeah, he knows what's up.
He knows
Yeah,
what's up.
which is actually really cool. I didn't notice that reference when I first read through it, because I actually didn't read nor watch Overlord yet.
I
And
read
then
it and watched it.
I watched it, like, I think maybe a month later, and then now reading it back, and I saw the reference, I was like, wait a minute, isn't that? And I see like the little notes, and it's just like Overlord reference. I was like, what? No, that's cool. I wish I noticed it sooner, or I wish I saw Overlord sooner, just so I could see the reference sooner, and then be all dorky about it.
Yeah.
But alas, I did not. Now I'm dorky about it now.
Hey, that's all good, man.
Better late than
Now
never.
you can be dorky about it, so that's all
Yep.
that matters.
Definitely. It's definitely Gucci.
And so the next character that we get to meet is going to be, of course, Eji's little sister.
Yep.
Who is, her name is Hinana. Of course, we will just call her Hina for right now, because that's a lot of nas for that name. I don't know why there's a lot of there's an extra na at the end of that.
I don't know how common
but
that name is.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if that's a very common name in Japan. You know, there's a lot of people that are walking around. Their name is Hinana, but if your name is Hinana, you want to take one of those nas off, just Hina.
Nah.
Can I just call you Hichan?
Oh God, you just reminded me of Katawa Shoujo. Whoop.
Whoop.
Because what's it called? One of the characters, Misha, she calls the main character Hichan.
Hichan.
Hichan. He's just like, God, please don't. And she does the entire time.
So yes, you get to meet Yariba Hinana, and she is a very darling little sister.
With moral ambiguity, which I will explain shortly. Before we explain her morality, let me backpedal real quick to the main chick, Karen. So after meeting, Eiji in the Net Cafe, and him actually saving her, I put, kind of over dramatic, because all that happened were a couple of books.
No. Remember, he was saving the books.
Well, no. She said her, and then you say he took diligent care of the books. That's what she liked about it.
No. Yeah, remember what he said to her was that I wasn't trying to save you, I was trying to save the books.
Oh,
They're
no.
precious.
Yeah. That's, okay, never mind. Then saving her the books, and
Yeah.
he
He went to go save the books.
yeah.
The books.
And then after meeting her, telling her, he scolded her, gave her one of those punches to the noggin, like they do in anime. Give her a little quick jab onto their
Little karate chop right in the center of your head, which realistically, if you were to do that, you'd probably actually really injure your hand more than
Yeah,
you'd injure the top of that person's head, because it's a
that's
very
the hardest,
solid piece of...
Yeah, isn't that like one of the hardest
It's
parts?
a solid piece of bone, yeah. It's going to
Yeah.
hurt like a bit.
Like,
anyway.
yeah, it's going to hurt them. It's more going to rattle them a little bit, but at the same time, your hand's
going to be a little sore.
Your hand's not as strong as the
Unless
top.
you're a karate master, that's going to hurt.
Yeah. So after scolding her, basically, that is when she had fallen in love with this dude. And also because how well he took care of the book. So basically, he got hit with the harem protagonist.
You got hit with a little bit of the harem protagonist. Oh,
The harem protagonist syndrome of just like,
you don't
the
know
worst reasons ever.
You want to know
fall
why
in love?
this guy has this big titty girl that wants to be all on his dick? Because he's a nice guy.
You know
You
what?
want to know why he's a nice guy? Because you're a nice guy.
That joke's never gonna stop being funny.
That's natural harem protagonist logic, man.
Hey, because guess what?
You gotta make the harem protagonist relatable.
Yeah. Guess what? Yeah, me. No, I'm not. You know why I like Hachiman a lot? Hachiman Hikigaya?
Because he's not a nice guy.
Because he's an asshole. You know why? Because I'm an asshole. It's great.
It's like, you wanna know why he's cool? Because he's an asshole. You wanna know why he's an asshole? Because I'm an asshole.
It's the proper anime logic. Usually people who like, that's anything in any type of media of like fiction, where typically people like characters that they feel gravitated towards.
Yep.
And, I guess, at the end of the day, if I like Hikigaya, it must be something. But I also like Eiji. I do find I find him a little motivating, which I will explain later in the chapters.
And yeah,
As
they're like a
time
little
goes
bit
on.
later in the series.
I admire this dude.
You get to be able to see a little bit more of his overall
his
work ethics as he goes through, because let's just say as a functioning member of society, this man is really just going towards the peak of what it means to be a white-collared individual, but a hard-working white-collared individual.
Oh, he's killing it.
Like, not only is he able to take care of an entire office full of people who completely rely on him, but he's able to just handle and grasp real-world situations that normal harem protagonists usually have not a single fucking clue of.
No.
All right.
Actually, speaking of which, when it comes to his work ethic, like the thing I do and really enjoy a lot is really realistic to why people actually like him in his job at his job.
Yeah.
Like, it's so realistic. It's not like the typical harem protagonist, like, oh, he's just a nice dude. He's just, he's working hard. Look at him. He's trying his best. Let me just help this kid out who's so hopeless right now. Nah, there's way more reason, which, they will definitely show.
They'll show you how amazing this character is.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. So that being said, as I did mention, Karen does fall in love with old boy because, he helps out books.
He likes to save books. Books are what he likes to save.
And guess what bitches like? Bitches like guys who like books. It's so
She's
great.
so nonchalant. Bitches like guys who like books.
You like, and it doesn't matter what book it is, as long as it's not like, a magazine. They'll let some magazines slide, but you can't open a Playboy out and like, I'm just reading. No one's gonna believe you. You gotta pull out like at least, something with an actual article in there. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm looking to upgrade my PC. I'm trying to look at what games are coming out. I'm looking for car parts. Like, they'll let it slide then.
Can't be busting up in fucking jugs.
I heard jugs in a minute. That thing's dead.
Probably.
Dude, yeah. Shoot. You just find their Instagram. If they have an Instagram, they're not dead. All right. So, of course, now that's tying into the whole idea of morality with the little sister, because Karen falls in love with old boy, and the brother points out to her like, come on, like you in it, like come on, she's like what, a year older than you, like would you really want her to like date a 29-year-old salaryman like
listen,
me?
Would you really want to date somebody who's 14 years older than you? And his little sister looked at him, and without skipping a beat, said, I mean, it depends on the person. If you like him, does age really matter? All right, okay, sis, come here. We gotta talk. We gotta talk. Okay. You about to learn about a magical word called statutory rape.
It's a big word, mind you. I understand, but it's a big word that gets me in trouble.
It's a big word that will get me in trouble and have you completely confused as to why your big brother is now in the confines of a cell, all because he loved somebody.
Yeah.
So, let's go ahead and not go down that boat. But yeah, so his sister's a little.
Now I understand her ethic, her perspective of it. You know what I mean? At least because first of all, she's a young girl. Girls like this at that age also some of them do think that kind of way. And it's like, oh, I'm mature enough to know who I want to be with. And it's like,
no.
I understand, but no.
It's like, I understand, but no.
Not at all.
You're really not. You don't know what you're doing.
You're saying words, and it's all wrong.
It's like everything that you're saying, my brain is just like, nah, not for hell no.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I can stop you, but if you was my daughter, I definitely would be beating your ass.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. My daughter would get folded, with all due respect. with love.
It's like, Dad, I'm interested in this 29-year-old. Not anymore, you're not. Mm-hmm.
Either you're going to change your mind or he's going to go missing and you're going to be in pain.
It's like either you're going to change your mind or you're going to be forced to change your mind or you're not going to be able to see him again.
And I will reassure.
When I say not see him again, I mean you and probably anybody that else knows him will not see him again.
I'm not saying I'm going to try to stop you from seeing him. Let's just say he's not going to
be around for you to see him. You feel what I'm saying?
Picking what I'm putting down there, champ.
All right. And let's just say that for the goodness of my heart and teach you a lesson, I'll let you see him one more time, but only a piece of him.
Whoa. Got him. Oh, man. All right. So now when we say she is in love with boy, she's seriously in love with our boy Eiji.
Yeah.
And it's like the typical high school crush thing you would expect, except she's fast.
She's fast. She's really fast.
She's a quick,
It started off with, just wanting to see him, chat with him, and then it became making you some cookies. It's like, all right, okay,
cookies, whatever.
That's sweet,
That's still within boundaries.
And then she made Madeleines. It's like, okay, getting a little upgraded here on the cooking. I guess you're showing me how good your baking skills are. I mean, if you want to open a bakery, that'd be kind of dope.
That's a nice dream you got.
And then
you said you want to be a novel.
And the food kept coming as they kept running into each other.
It was obvious. It was obvious.
And there was, in the midst of all this food being given to him, Eiji noticed something very particular about our girl, Karen. And that was every single time she was about to see him or was around him, she looked different.
Every time.
How different, you might be wondering? Well, there's just one particular thing that she would do, and that was her skirt would be higher up. It would be almost like she rolled it up in the mornings before she went to go meet Eiji. And then when she was leaving to go wherever she was going to go, her skirt was back down to a full long length. Now, you could be thinking, maybe it just accidentally rolled up while she was sitting down. No,
that's not how Japanese skirts work. Trust me, I know.
Nah, it didn't roll up. No, she rolled it up herself. Yes, did he deduce that in his mind and figure it out on his own? Yes, he did. But
is that kind of weird?
No, it's not
could
weird.
be, but no.
So, when it came to when Eiji figures this out, he's like, wait a minute, she's cooking a lot for me, Every single time she's around me, she changes her appearance, and then when she leaves, she changes it again. Does this girl like me? No, that can't be possible. I'm like 14 years older than her. And I'm a very plain guy. Like there's no way.
I'm letting you know right now.
A
This
beautiful
guy,
high schooler
he
would
is
fall in love with me.
I'm gonna say right now, he may be plain, but he's also not plain.
He's not plain.
You know what I mean?
He's kind of got like that rugged charm.
Yeah, that's what it is. Like, this guy's a man. like he's a man.
He's got that rugged charm about him. Where it's like,
well, like he's not like this guy's lifting. He's not lifting trucks. But he's working long hours in the office. You know he's putting in the grind. So,
and
here's the thing. He's like, well, I better cut this short before
so he's like,
things go too far.
It's impossible. Then he goes home
with a pie. A full pie that she made, and him and his sister's like, bro, she fucking likes you. Like, this is not a game. This is not a joke. She literally likes you. She's
Come on, what is this?
Serious.
She gave you a whole pie. He's like, yeah, honestly, this is getting a little out of hand. I'm glad I started to realize it now, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut this off before it gets, before the wound gets any bigger. And unfortunately for him, Karen works fast like a motherfucker. So in perspective of how much time probably went by, I would probably say less than a month went by of them
probably
just
about 3 weeks
of them just chatting normally in a net cafe.
Yep.
And her just bringing him some sweets. They're not switching. They didn't switch numbers. They don't know each other's home addresses. Nothing like that.
Yep. It's not creepy.
It's literally like it'd literally be like if you were just going to a cafe and you met your neighbor at the cafe and you start talking to your neighbor. It's kind of like that. Like you just kind of you start knowing somebody. Boom. It's just regular conversation.
You're not boys.
But unfortunately for him, his sister pulled out a little folded card and said, "Bro, I think it might be too late." And he's like, "What? What's this postcard?" And then he opens it up, and in it says, "From Karen, please let me be your girlfriend."
It was like, "I like you.
I like you. Please let me be your girlfriend." And that's pretty much the last page of the chapter.
Yep. It was a very no. It was only for that. Not fast progressing. It was fast progressing in regards of like.
In terms of actually reading it, it almost seems like holy shit that went.
That was a lot of.
Wow, that was a
lot of.
That didn't take long at all. Because normally in romances you see
it kind of takes a little bit for the person to confess.
There's always a build up to the confess, or there's a build up to the actual going out. For 29 to JK, they were like, nah, she's confessing now. What's gonna happen is trying to make it seem like it's okay.
And right now, when it comes to when it comes to confessions in manga, anime, anything like that, the thing that we crave a lot is that big confession scene. That's one of our favorite things who enjoy romance. We like seeing the build up to them growing closer, and then the person finally
realizing their feelings,
and then finally having the courage to say, "I love you. You're my everything." Blah blah blah. That's why I like romance, anime, and manga, because it makes me wish I had something. So
it's adorable, but 29 JK said,
we'll give
you
some of that. We're gonna be really quick with it. We're gonna be quick.
We're just gonna yeet most out the window, and
we gotta wrap this shit up.
We got other shit that we want to get to, so you're gonna have to accept this confession. They basically did a confession through text message.
Yeah, in a roundabout way. Yeah, kind of like through text.
They did a confession through text message, just like, "Hey, I like you. We should start going out. And if not, it's cool."
Red.
So yeah, they got right into it.
And that right there actually got us really into it. Just for the few things that got us really into 29 to JK was, one, we read the description, thought it was going to be
absolutely just
horrible,
just nothing but fan service, just your typical harem of, it's probably going to be some office worker who's going to go running down someplace. He's going to bump into some 15-year-old girl, accidentally squeeze her tit, and then get knocked into the fucking sky, and then be all like,
or
I didn't even try that. I was late for work. And then he's going to finally get to work where he has like some female boss who's also well fucking
endowed.
And And she's going to be all like, why are you late today? And then get all up in his ass. And then he's going to accidentally see down the middle of her shirt. And she's going to be all like, you can't even pay attention. And slap him. He's going to be like, this is the worst day ever. Like, just your typical harem.
Yeah, we thought it was going to be pretty bad.
It went the complete opposite route of that and took us down a road that was like, you know, this is actually a very compelling story.
Yeah, it was actually done pretty well, at least with, for the starting point, what we're going to be discussing for now. And thing is,
and of course, I know some of you will have questions about, also the age gap of the protagonist and the heroine, which actually we will cover further inside of the chapters as well, because it's so questionable. And when I say questionable, I don't mean in the way of like, for a fact that what he's going to do. It's like, no, it's more of, you really are hoping he doesn't do what you think he's going to do, but they 29 Joke, as you learn from the first chapter and after reading the description, is kind of a wild card.
Yeah.
So
from my understanding,
it gets a little. It'll get deeper
with the whole idea of the age gap, debacle. The good news is, for the thing that made us really like Eiji, which I don't want to dive too far into because it will be a later thing, is he's an adult.
He's an adult.
He's an adult.
He's an adult. Again, he quickly broke down that a high schooler does have feelings for him, and that he needs to handle those feelings quickly as a proper adult. Normally, when you in anime, manga, and it involves romance or harem, there's no way your protagonist recognizes that almost ever.
Yeah.
And oftentimes they misread those feelings from another character that actually likes somebody else.
Yeah.
Eiji just doesn't do that. He knows. He's very aware of what goes on around him.
And those are the type of characters we like. We like characters that are aware. We like it. We hate characters who
are just dumb.
I'm oblivious to all social cues and of everything. Like, at least give me a backstory saying he's autistic. I'll be okay with it then. But no, instead he's just a dude.
He's just a regular guy who just cannot pick up on social cues that are directed at him.
But hey, the most we know about this guy is that he's a nice dude.
He's a nice guy. He's got a kind heart, and he's always trying to do the right thing. Trying. Not always succeeding, but he's trying.
Hey, just like you.
Why? Because you're a nice guy.
And you have a kind heart.
And you have a kind heart. And you're always trying to do the right thing.
Trying. Oh, Jesus Christ. That was a big, bulky chapter.
Yeah.
Now, let me go down to talk about what we do indeed like about 29 JK in the minimal ways is it's a lot of pages.
Yep. You have a lot
characters
to read.
All characters except a few are likable, and the ones that aren't likable, you're meant to hate.
You're meant to hate the ones that you don't that are not likable. Yeah, the characters that you're like, I really don't like this character. Yeah, there's actually a reason why you don't like.
You're
them.
Not supposed,
and that's because you're not supposed to.
Yeah.
Now
like there's Sephiroth, and there's people that like him.
Yeah.
He's a badass.
Because he's a badass main guy.
Yeah, he's a bad guy. He's evil as fuck. He's bad. But these guys, they're bad, and you hate them.
Yeah, they're bad, and you hate them. You absolutely hate them. And there's even a character that you are meant to hate, but at the same time, you almost can't hate. But you feel like I really need to hate your guts at the same time.
You got to give me something to hate you for.
you kind of have to give me something to hate you for, because so far, you almost seem justified.
Almost.
You're still kind of a dick the way you go about it, but I understand what you're trying to do.
Yeah, exactly.
So, 29 JK is definitely a great manga to just kind of get to start reading, just something that has in-depth character development and actually creates a pretty fun story for you to follow. Now, in the first chapter, of course, you get to meet a few people. One character we did not really bring up was a character whose name got mentioned, Watorase. Watorase is going to be a little bit more of a more important character later on in the manga.
Yeah, she is going to be a little bit more. Actually, she's going to be a pretty big part of the later arc.
The final arc.
Actually,
the final arc. Yeah.
Like, she's like more like shown as she's definitely a support character, definitely. But on the final arc, I like how we phrase these as arcs. Usually when I hear the word arc, I think of like shonen. But you know, in the final arc, she's definitely way more important and actually does bring more to the story, which I was actually happy for. There's one character that they do underutilize, which we'll discuss a little bit later when the time comes. But other than that, that's really everything we can really talk about for chapter 1. We can only talk about so much about it.
Yeah, there wasn't really much else that we missed. Oh, I guess a little bit of information that we could cover too is just that the company that he works for is a an insurance agency.
Yes.
So he helps people.
Was it foreign insurance agency?
No, it's domestic. I think.
Okay.
Yeah, he has domestic. I think foreign came later.
Okay.
I think.
Okay, for sure.
But yes, so he is basically an insurance agent, and he's the coach of the floor. So he makes sure to that calls are being made, insurances are being complied and filed correctly. If anybody has a complaint, he's the one who takes care of it, and very well, mind you. Like, the way this man handles complaints is amazing. He's
basically exactly.
Oh God, I just remembered the other character though that handles complaints really well.
Like, wait, I know. We'll talk about. He's a character you both love and hate. I know exactly what you're talking about. But anyway, when it comes to how Eiji takes care of like complaints, it's the model like example of how you're supposed to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if there was like, you ever watch the examples that telemarketers show you on how to deal with angry customers, or like any example with on the phone, anything.
Anyway, yeah.
Eiji is exactly what that thing is. Like the perfection of it will work out for him.
Like he just mastered customer service in especially in the field of complaints. Like if you want someone that's a good manager that's just gonna be able to talk to that one customer that seems completely unreasonable, yeah, he can.
He'll make sure they're reasonable.
He'll make sure they're reasonable. It's kind of lucky too that it works basically at like a call center for like in that insurance company, because imagine that he was going door to door.
The eyes.
Eyes. Do you need insurance? Holy shit, are you trying to kill me?
I might.
Do I need life insurance right now?
I might. Oh, Jesus. He's stern.
Allstate, are you in good hands?
He has stern eyes. Like, those eyebrows.
Those eyebrows, those eyes, those pupils. He looks like he's ready to go into battle at any moment.
It looks like he can actually shoot really well.
It looks like if 11 leaves were falling from a tree, he would cut all 11 of them, and somehow there would still be a 12th one that's on the tip of his blade. Don't know where that 12th one came from, but it's at the tip of his blade.
Or even
he stabbed.
Or even better, it's more like if 11 different leaves fell, he threw one kunai and somehow hit all of them to line up on the tree.
Yeah.
They're all in different areas.
His eyes just give you that feeling. It was like if he was riding on a horseback and someone like dropped a barrel of apples off a cliff, he could shoot every single apple right back up into the barrels.
God damn it.
Yeah, I don't know how the fuck you do that, but he seems like that type of just, apples. Oh shit, they're all back up here.
How the hell
did you do that?
Just leaves. Doesn't answer. Hey, answer me.
Hi. Who the hell was that guy?
That's Eiji's work ethic.
That's pretty much Eiji's work ethic. Yeah, he's good at everything he does when it comes to his job.
Even his polar opposite of work ethic that we'll see later somehow still
manages
I don't know how
very well. I can't wait to cover him.
Yeah, I can't wait to talk about him because
that's
I
a great
remember when
character.
we were reading it, we were both being like angry at him, but like we didn't
I went to get some goddamn ramen in the middle.
Like no, we just know that we know that people like this, and then we're like, those type of people we hate.
Like, how the fuck did you get your shit done at the same time you were goofing off for like 4 hours?
We'll get there later. For now, I hope you guys enjoy this little. I say little. We've been recording for a minute. I hope you guys enjoyed this.
Not even, dude. It's only been 39 minutes.
Yeah, a minute. You know, that's like.
That's not too bad.
It's almost podcast level.
Almost.
Almost. No.
But when you edit it down, it'll probably be, shoot, when you really take out some of some of just like the filler and just like chit chatter, it'll probably just be like some.
Like, I'm doing all that. I'm just gonna go from beginning, and then have the angles working properly. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I actually feel so cool. There's one there.
With all these
one
angles.
right there, and
one right here,
and one right there.
So you got the
Quincy cam.
So you got the Quincy, you got the Q cam, you got the A cam, and you got the
Q&A.
The Q&A.
Q&A. You see what I did there? It's like question and answer, but Quincy and Alex.
Hey.
And also Alex and Quincy sounds weird to me.
Plus A and Q just doesn't sound.
Yeah.
Then it just doesn't.
A and Q.
It doesn't flow right.
It sounds like it's going fine, and then it gets abrupt slap to the face.
It's like A and Q. Ah.
That was a magical punch, wasn't it? Or magical kick, excuse me. Or is it magical punch?
Magical punch.
Yeah. He kicks him. Yeah.
Yeah, right. The magical punch.
References.
It's like, didn't you kick him? That's what makes it magical.
Magic.
Magic.
All right. I hope you guys enjoy this video. We'll see you guys in a couple of days and continue on with more of Manga Book Club. This is going up on Monday. So I think it's going to be, the next part is going to be Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday. That makes sense to me. So yeah, we'll be back Wednesday talking about more 29 To JK, and we'll continue on through chapter 2. Peace. Oh, before I forget, I already forgot. When it comes to as this series goes on, eventually when I do more and more of these kind of series, we will be making sure we probably do maybe 2 to 3 chapters of video just to make it a lot easier and speed through. Because some series that we'll go through eventually are just going to be, they're going to be like longer than 29 To JK. 29 To JK only has 29 chapters.
Yeah.
So I can get over doing, I know, it's kind of depressing. But I can get over like some series where like they're like short and doing 1 chapter this week and, or another 1 chapter on this video and 2 chapters on this video. But when we get to some series where they have like 100 and stuff like that, we gotta do like 3 or 4 at a time.
Sheriff Evans.
Yeah. Some shit. All right, we'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
The stretching feels good on my back.